And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Ryan Metzler.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan Metzler here, and today we're going to take a look at a Gen Con release from a new company. This is from Rather Dashing Games. The name of the game is Four Taverns, the theme of which is to, you are a tavern in town that is trying to gain renown and I guess, prestige amongst the local villagers by going out and completing quests, sending adventurers from your tavern out to complete quests, which will win you the game by leveling up your character, increasing your hand size, and making it all around better for you in order to go out and try and get more quests. So, real quick, we'll take a look at what you get inside this big box. We will see how the game plays, and then we will come back here and get my final opinion on the package as a whole. So here you can see the components for Four Taverns. Now this is a card game in which you are trying to quest for your tavern in order to earn renown, or in order to, get your tavern to be the most respected and well-known tavern in the town. And each player has these cards here. They're going to have their own set of cards that are markers to show which cards that they're playing out to these different quests belong to them. And then they're going to have 4 different level cards, levels 1 through 4. You're going to start at level 1. Basically, this tells you what your hand size is, so you have a hand size of 4 cards. But as you get victory points, when you get 5, you'll go to level 2, which will give you a hand size of 5. You'll go to level 3 for 6, and level 4 for 7 when you get 15 points. And then if you get 20 points, you're going to win the game. So each player has their own set of these different cards to use throughout the game. In addition to that, you're going to have these quest cards. Right now I have 3 piles of them, and that's because 3 piles are available in the game, with the top card being flipped up for each one of them, that you can try and quest for and win. Quests have different numbers on them. We'll see here along the left-hand side, you can see a red 3, a blue 1, a green 1, and a brown 1. These are the values of heroes that you're going to need at this quest in order to claim it, in order to get the victory points, or the renown, and the money that it has here. So you'll see it's worth 5 money and 1 victory point. In addition, some of these quests are going to have special things. This one right here has this ribbon on it. This ribbon here means that when you claim this, you get to keep one of the cards that you use to claim it. So you can pull one of them back into your hand. Other ones, like this one here, have a symbol on them that shows the blue inn. If the blue person were to take this, they would get double renown for this quest. So they're going to get double victory points if they manage to claim that one. And there are various other abilities on them. But you'll see some of them are worth 1 victory point, some of them are worth 4. There's a range from about 1 to 4 of how many points they're worth, and then you can get bonus points for getting the right ones. In addition to that, you're going to have these coins, which are going to represent your money in the game. You'll start with some of these, and you are going to have these cards. Each player is going to start with a hand of cards, and this is going to be the real focus of the game. So why don't I draw some of these cards, and we'll take a look at them. The first thing you do every turn in Four Taverns is draw 2 cards from the top of the deck, adding them to your hand. These don't count towards your hand size, which is only checked at the end of the turn, at which point you have to discard down. If I were to have this hand, I have a couple different kinds of cards in my hand. Here we can see a cleric. It's a green card, and all green cards will be clerics. It has a value of 3, and it is green. Now you can see I can play these cards out to these different areas here in order to match or exceed the values on the quest. So I need a 3, well this one requires a 2, so I could play my 3 here, but in order to do so I would have to pay a money from my reserve. So I would have some money, and I would pay it out to the reserve in order to play this card. It would cost 1 because it has 1 color on the card. Now other cards are going to have 2 colors. For example, we can see the Alchemist here. He is both blue and brown. In addition, he doesn't have a value. He is going to be a special type of card, and there are a lot of these in the deck that are dual colored. They cost 2 money to play to the table. So I'd pay 2 from my reserve, and I would place him out on the quest, or next to the quest. We'd have more space here. I can slide these back. I would play them here. So now I've paid 3 money, but I satisfy the green, and the blue and brown are automatically satisfied by my Alchemist. So this 4 and this 2 are now satisfied, and all I need is the 2 in red. Now maybe I'm out of money at this point, and I can't really afford to play anything else because it costs money to play these cards from my hand. I would pass the turn to the next player, and they would be able to go and take their turn playing cards out, and they can even compete for the same quests. And that's why you have these little markers. So I could put this out here to show that these are my cards, and another player could play trying to satisfy the same quest before I can. Now obviously they want to stop me from getting this one because I'm blue and I would get double renown for it. So maybe they play out a bunch of cards from their hand and they have a bunch of money and they take this one before I do. They get the 4 victory points. They're also going to get the 8 money, and my cards get discarded to the discard pile, and I'm pretty much out of luck. Now, there are several cards that can change the way the game plays. There are these action cards, and you can play these when appropriate. They tell you when they're appropriate. And this one here says when another player completes a quest, you can basically steal half of the money from them, rounded down. So if they were to complete this, and I have my cards out here, and I'm, upset because I didn't get to complete the quest, they would lose half their money rounded down. So it's only going to be 4 that they lose, but that money goes to me, which is really an 8 money swing, and will allow me to play more cards later. There are other cards like this, like the Doppelganger Potion. You can play it out, and it copies any of the heroes on the board. So if somebody needed this blue-brown, they can play this to their table for no money, and they can copy my blue-brown. And now he's a blue-brown until he somehow gets discarded from the table or the quest is completed. In addition to all of those, there is one card that is kind of a wild card. It's the Monk here. You can see here he is all 4 colors, but he can only count as 2. He still counts as 2 money to play from your reserve, and you put him out, and he can complete any 2 of the colors for any given quest. As soon as you complete all colors, so let's say I play this here, I've completed all 4 colors. You can, at the end of your turn, pick this up, you score the points and the money, and the quest goes away, and a new one would flip out. All of the cards you used would be discarded, and the next player's turn would start. In addition to all of these options, you have one more option that's really important to cover. You are going to be able to, on your turn, and once per turn only, sell 2 cards to the supply for 1 money, or buy 1 card from the supply for 2 money. So you can kind of, save up money. If you have extra money, you can buy more cards. If you don't have enough money, you can sell some cards to try and kind of negate that out. As you accumulate points, you're going to go up in level. So, as I showed you earlier, when you get those first 5 points, you'll go from level 1 to level 2, and your hand size will grow. You'll go from 2 to 3 after 10 points, and 3 to 4 after 15. The first player to get to 20 points in this manner is going to be the winner. And there you have it. That is Four Taverns from Rather Dashing Games. Now, I'm going to come out right away at the beginning of this and say I didn't like the game at all. I played it, and while I was playing it, I really was not having a good time. And there are several reasons for this that I'm going to cover now, and I'm going to give reasons or ways that I think that they can be fixed or at least modified to make the game a better game. For those of you who already own it, or for those people who are considering buying it, and also for the production company themselves. So let's start out with the leveling as you play cards and get victory points. As you level, as you get more points, you're going to get more levels, and as you get more levels, you're going to get more cards, and that's more cards in your hand. Now, with the more cards you have in your hand, you're going to be able to better play out and win more quests, getting you more victory points, which will get you more cards. And this is a win more mechanic, which is never a good idea in a game because it creates runaway leaders. Now, in order to solve this, they should really have the reverse leveling aspect, where the more you level, the more points you get, the fewer cards you can hold, making it more difficult to score, and thereby creating a more of a catch-up mechanism in the reverse order of leveling. And on top of this, there is the whole, you can play cards and not complete a quest in the hopes of completing them on a future turn. That doesn't work either. The reason this doesn't work is because it's likely that someone else is going to complete a quest before you have a chance to finish it. You'll play your cards out, and yes, you split your stuff between multiple quests. That's great. You're partway to completing several of them, but someone else is probably going to jump on it and complete the whole thing on their turn before you can, and throw away all of your cards. Which leads me to another point, that you need to be able to get some type of benefit for playing to these quests that you're not completing. If you get kicked off, not only does it hurt you, but you've lost those cards, you didn't complete the quest, and now you have less money for cards that you no longer have as well. So a benefit for that would be a nice balance. On top of that, there's really this too many cards in hand type of thing, where you draw up at the beginning of your turn, you get 2 cards, and you can go over your hand limit. I really think that they should move the draw to the end of the turn, where you have less cards, and they should never let you draw over your hand size. So if you start drawing at a hand size of 4, you have to discard down first, giving you less options for your next turn. With all of these things combined, I think it gives the game a little bit more strategy, a little bit more of a planning aspect, or a little bit more of a, I have to play these cards out to the table so I don't lose them when I draw type of thing, which kind of makes it a more balanced game, not allowing for that runaway leader. So there's all of those negatives. I know it's a lot of negatives, but it's how I felt about the game, and I hope that the opinions help. If this still sounds good to you and you think it's something you'd enjoy playing, if you've got a good family that would enjoy this game, check out Four Taverns from Rather Dashing Games.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.